Hi, I'm Colin Speedy and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about a book I recently wrote concerning the history, hunting and conservation of one of Britain's most spectacular wild creatures, the basking shark. At up to 11 metres in length and 7 tonnes in weight, the basking shark is a true sea monster. It has been a regular visitor to many of the shores around the northeast Atlantic, most particularly around Norway, the west of Scotland and the west of Ireland for centuries. A harmless plankton feeder, the basking shark can sometimes be seen swimming at the surface during the summer, a habit that gives it its name and also makes it vulnerable to hunting. The basking shark first appeared in the historical record during the 1700s. The records from that time concern the hunting of the shark, which was mainly carried out from small open boats by people using handheld harpoons. It was a risky business and many people lost their lives. What made taking that risk worthwhile was the liver of the basking shark. At 25% of the animal's body weight, the livers are huge, and when rendered down can yield a very valuable liver oil. The liver oil was mainly used in lamps for lighting the small cottages around the coast, but later an export market developed to use that liver oil in cities, where it was burned in lanterns to light the streets. That was the start of the industrialization of the basking shark hunt. The hunt went on in this way for the next 100 years until the introduction of alternative fuels like paraffin made it uneconomic. From there on, although the hunt continued on a small scale, it was only on a local basis and didn't really threaten stocks. But at the beginning of the 20th century, a new threat appeared for the basking shark. Fishermen around the world were complaining that basking sharks were getting caught in their nets and causing considerable damage. As a result, fisheries protection vessels were commanded to go out and ram basking sharks at the surface, killing many of them. This continued throughout the first part of the 20th century, almost until World War II. Whaling had all but ceased during World War II, and demand for similar oil such as shark oil was tremendous. At its peak, shark oil was worth £135 per tonne, an equivalent of £5,000 in today's money. This encouraged new, more mechanised basking shark fisheries to open. In Scotland, a new breed of hunters took part, fortunately for the basking shark, none very successfully. But in Norway and Ireland, the fisheries caused huge damage to stocks. At its peak, the Irish Achill Island fishery was producing an average of 250 tonnes of oil per year. Such high levels of exploitation couldn't be continued. Basking sharks have very slow reproductive rates and so couldn't recover from such intensive exploitation. By the 1970s, the Achill Island fishery was at an end. By now, conservationists had recognised the plight of the shark and were campaigning for the hunt to be stopped. It took many years of research and concerted effort, but in 1998 the hunting of basking sharks in the UK was banned. Other areas steadily followed. Today, the basking shark is one of the most highly protected sharks in the world, and there are some positive signs that numbers may be recovering at last. And we know much more about the animal. Scientists have incredible technology at their fingertips, such as satellite tagging and tracking, that make it possible to explain areas of life history of the shark that were completely hidden until now. And the basking shark now has a new price on its head, but this time it's a positive benefit as eco-tourists flock to Britain to see this spectacular creature in the flesh. You can learn about all of this and more in my book. The book is entitled A Sea Monster's Tale, In Search of the Basking Shark, and it'll be published in March 2017 by Wild Nature Press. I hope you'll enjoy it.